the Evil Geniuses roster is much stronger in the laning phase to mid game, and if we get to the super late game, the Vlad, Ryze, Caitlyn combo, I think are going to be terrifying. So this is a ticking time bomb as far as EG are concerned.
Well, let's have a look then. Evil Geniuses going to get themselves into place for this one. LemonDogs also moving through pretty quickly here. And there is the Spirit Fire down. EG just hanging out of range of that one. A lot of pings on this top side. We are going to see We Will Fail go in there, puts a ward in position. Oh, that
so
halfway
close.
through the job and attack animation there. It goes out of sight. Doesn't, of course, finish it off after that. So they got the positioning and they kept the ward alive.
I would love to ask somebody like Freak, who knows a little bit more about the mechanics of the engine, whether or not the attack animation was actually interrupted by a right click. Because it looked like it was going, and I believe if he'd let it go through a finish, it would have still killed the ward, but I don't know the engine well enough at this point. Right now, though, EG, they've almost face-checked a bush full of LemonDogs and instead backed away wisely. Didn't run into it.
Yep, they're going to head straight off into the top side here of that LemonDogs jungle and set up somewhat of a trap. And I don't think the LemonDogs have full vision on them. They have put a couple of pings in position, so they have a very good idea of where they are.
Yeah, so they definitely would have seen them moving around into their jungle, and you can see by the positioning of the LemonDogs how defensive they're playing. Very, very importantly, nobody has recall. That is a 5-man death push. This is going to be a level 1. Halo Barrows is down, and there they go!
This is going to be a crazy fight. Snoopy going very low, has to flash away already. Dexter himself will go low, and it looks like LemonDogs and EG don't want any more of this one, although LemonDogs have gone around the top side of this red buff. Will they be able to challenge EG? They're going to try and get out. Snoopy just throwing the flag in there. The light finding will miss. Here they go. Snoopy going low. He will go down. Caitlyn picks up first blood. Now they turn around onto Wicked. Nuke flashes in there. It's another hit from Taz. And a double kill at the start. It's not over though. Yellow Pete has to flash away. There goes the Piltover Peacemaker. Not quite got the damage or the range to finish things off. And that will be a 2-0 start. Can Dexter get in there? You wouldn't imagine so at level 1 from Nasus. And all the action stops. And Caitlyn not only getting first blood, but getting a double kill. And everyone on the team got 2 assists as well.
That basically seals the deal for whoever Caitlyn is going head-to-head with. And you can imagine the Tabs would want to go in the lane matchup against Yellow Pete, shut him down, spend some of that early gold, pick up maybe a Vamp Scepter or something like that, and just really completely stamp your authority on the early game. That was a very aggressive play from Evil Geniuses, and it backfired because of indecisiveness and a single Aqua Prison. 3 members were locked up in that bubble from Nami. EG couldn't do anything, took so much damage, and they were forced to run away.
Incredible start to this one, and LemonDogs will be licking their lips at the thought of taking down Evil Geniuses here, but we know from experience that the first blood, even a double kill at the start of a game, doesn't necessarily mean a free path to victory. We're going to have to see how this all works out in the long run. I just want to have a quick look at, okay, 1,100 gold Tabs has to spend here after 3.5 minutes. That is a serious chunk.
So the fact that he hasn't gone back makes me think he may want to just stay in lane until he gets that 15-50 enough for a BF sword. And if you can pick up like a 5-minute BF sword, that is crazy good. Combine that with the on-hit damage that Nami's going to be providing with her Tidecaller's Blessing, the E, it's just going to shred Varus and Lulu. The shield that Lulu has is not going to be enough to save them from the continued headshot auto-attack harass from Caitlyn.
Incredible stuff here in this one. Bottom lane has been a lot of exchanges going on. Zoro just throwing out all of his nukes there, auto-attacking as much to keep that shield down from Wicked whenever it does come back up into play. And he'll no doubt keep on that one. The CS is actually really level between them. Of course, Caitlyn is slightly ahead of Varus. We'll see how that one continues. Snoopy on your screen there with the double buff on. He went very low in that first exchange. Then he managed to get a bit of heal back up. And then he died afterwards, which at level 1 for the jungler sets you back a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, just because of the amount of time that you lose, not only from farming. Crepper's been bubbled!
Oh, he's in a lot of trouble here. Tab's actually going in. There's the exhaust down, and Yellow Pete actually putting down a good amount of return damage there, and that will force Tabs to back away somewhat from that.
Now, I want to point something out. If Tabs had recalled when his wave was at the tower, spent some more money on a Vamp Scepter or another Dawn's
Nuke
Blade.
in the middle as well. Going very low. Had to pull out of that one. Sorry, I thought he might have gone down. The Ignite was in there as well from Frog, but not quite that extra tick.
Not enough. And if Tabs had that additional attack damage earlier, that would have been a dead Crepo. It would have been more damage on the tower. So that gambit of waiting for the BF sword, we'll now have to see if it pays off, because they've missed an opportunity already.
Yeah, that opportunity was there to make him 3 for 0, and he is coming back in with that BF sorted. They have to be real careful about this one. It's down in the bottom lane. Wicked might be in a bit of trouble. Dexter starting to come into this one, and he's just hit level 4, and I think he just leveled Wither there as well, literally, as he came into the lane, which, you know, if you're going to gank with Nasus, you pretty much need that Wither.
Yeah, you have to. Unless you have some form of, you know, crowd control outside of that rune prison, he's eventually just going to seismic shard up one of your champions, most likely the melee, and just walk away from a lot of that damage. So he does manage to get to safety. Up in the top lane, Tabs has returned with that BF sword. Oh, look at the bottom, there's the fight.
Yeah, going in there, Zoro actually falling quite low. Wicked, though, will go low himself. A lot of minions bashing away. Snoopy comes in from the side. Can they go in there towards Zoro? He's going to walk north as Dexter throws down that Spirit Fire. A very even battle there in the bottom lane. This top lane, though, now becomes a lot more interesting with that BF sword in play.
So this becomes basically now impossible for Yellow Pete based on the numbers. Yellow Pete on Varus has 820 hit points. Caitlyn currently hits for 139 attack damage per hit. I'm going to quickly check her runes. She's got 13 armor penetration as well, so she'll be hitting for a good chunk of that, 100 to 115 or so. That's 7 auto attacks before her headshot passive and before the Tidecaller's Blessing. See how much HP Yellow Pete lost from that single auto attack? Because the shield is up, there was no further attacks. Yeah, they didn't want to waste the ability on that.
There is Snoopy just hanging around that middle lane. Of course, Duck didn't use the Ghost or his Flash earlier on. We should probably mention that they decided not to go in for that Ignite. You know, Vladimir's... The Ghost is actually really good because it synergizes with his pool as well, which, you know, keeps that movement speed up as you go through. So a lot of people will go with that with an Ignite or a Flash and Ignite. This time around, Nuke looks like Flash and Ghost. I do not want to get caught.
And that's basically because of the composition, because of how important Vladimir is to the LemonDogs comp. He cannot afford to get killed in these team fights. He's basically the saving grace, as it were, from the team, because once all the ultimates hit, he's the one that's going to be at the most HP and going to be the one that needs to either soak the damage or clean up the fight. So it's a pretty smart play, and it'll actually end up being used aggressively once they do start these bigger 5v5 team fights.
Things slowing down a little bit now. We've got the chalice built up for Malphite with that crystalline flask, and a lot of pink wards for Evil Geniuses here, which is actually quite interesting, because one thing we didn't really talk about is the fact that Wicked has that teleport. Now, having those pink wards, you can clear out the vision. Yellow Pete actually getting hit there by the ace in the hole, was pulled up by the bubble as well from We Will Fail, but Tabs had already gone out of range to get any more auto attacks in. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Wicked once again is taking damage from Zoro. Dexter has worked his way into that back brush as well. Now he just reveals himself.
Yeah, basically just comes up, tries to push that lane out a little bit quicker, and allows Rise, being played by Zoro, to put some pressure down. Now I have to give mad props to Yellow Pete. He survived the last 3 or 4 minutes of onslaught and is keeping even on CS with Tabs' Caitlyn, which is a very, very difficult thing to do. They were able to push that wave out, and instead of going for the tower, Dexter and Zoro are just going to 2-man up this dragon. Nasus ultimate is just so powerful, and it just shreds down the HP of Dragon.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they're not going to be fast enough to react to it. Chances are they're not even going to have a ward down at that stage once Nasus hits level 6, gets a bit of help, and he can get that one finished off. So, good little 2,000 gold lead right now for LemonDogs, a team which started off nicely with a win against Meet Your Makers, not Meet Your Makers, Ninjas in Pajamas, that's the one, and then went on to lose 2 following games to that one already here today. They have another one to play today afterwards as well, so, you know, they got a lot of games today, which means that a win here would probably boost their confidence no end.
Yeah, and the start is the best thing that they could have asked for, because they've come off the back of back-to-back losses. They needed something to just get the wheels, you know, turning and get them working in favor. And the bottom lane, it does look like Wicked is going onto Zoro, and basically Zoro just walks away, spamming out those overloads as he was walking, charging up the tier. And at the end of the day, Wicked decided not to use that unstoppable force. Without Ignite, it's not really kill potential from that amount of hit points on Rise.
No, certainly agree with that one. And actually said Yellow Pete has done really an incredible job here in this top lane. I mean, we can see there he is at level 7 now compared to level 7 of Tabs as well. And he's really not that far behind on farm, just 4 CS behind, which, considering that's a double kill first blood BF sword Caitlyn already, he's doing so amazingly well.
This is
it's
something,
now a bloodthirster though.
This is something I'd love to talk to some of the other AD carry and support players and say, well, how do you deal with that? Like, if you're in that position, what could Tabs and We Will Failure have done differently to make that advantage grow? Should they have spent that money early on? Is that the mistake? Did they not use the early advantage to their favor? Or, you know, did they hit this power peak at an earlier stage? You know, it's something I'd love to talk to some of the pro players about and find out some of their opinions, because there's going to be a lot of varying arguments on the topic.
Right now, Wicked is actually ahead in that bottom lane. In the middle, 93 to 86. Froggen did use his laser actually to clear out that last wave. He's going to be going home now. He's slightly ahead in that one, but Vladimir should catch up by the time that the Froggen actually does get back into that lane. And now, in terms of the junglers, both Snoopy and Dexter have been relatively quiet after that start, as we are going to see Wicked going in at the bottom with the unstoppable force on towards Zoro. Got him down to about a quarter of his health, but more he can't manage at this point. No,
not right now. He doesn't have any additional ability power to really, you know, force Zoro down, but a good engagement, keeping it in control and keeping the lane in his favor up until that trade where Zoro now takes the advantage. The fact that he's got a bigger mana pool means Wicked may not have a full combo. If he sticks around to defend, they may try dive him with Dexter's ultimate.
Yep, there is the Spirit Fire down as well, just going to be clearing out those minions before they get in towards turret range. They're all minions that Wicked is missing here as well, as the next wave does come down, and whilst Dexter didn't really have a chance of picking up a kill there, he has forced Wicked to back away somewhat and allowed them to get a bit of damage down onto that bottom turret. It's around about half HP currently.
The biggest trend that we've seen throughout this weekend is who can make their opponent's top lane suffer the most. Nukeduck almost gets lasered down. I don't think it would have been enough damage to kill him. And you can see now at 12 minutes, Zoro 64 CS, Malphite 63 CS. And it's been the trend of every single LCS game that we've you know, shoutcasted this weekend. Top lane is just really struggling and suffering. Nukeduck taking a lot of poke from Froggen.
Yeah, Froggen's been a real irritation, is the word I'm trying to get out. Wicked down in the bottom lane. He's going to get room prison up, and there's a kill for Dexter. Finished off nicely, playing very, very patient, just waiting around this entire time. They both did that with a very low mana pool, but it was enough in the end. Froggen in this middle lane is putting so much damage down onto Nukeduck. Problem is, though, he's got that sustain here in the lane. Unless he can get to that point where he can literally erase him, he's going to keep doing that. Top lane as well, sorry. There is a tidal wave coming in. Crepo actually managing to block the ace in the hole there, and Tabs couldn't quite get the final touches onto Yellow P.
Yeah, really good play. Now there's Nukeduck. He's ghosted up. He's chasing Froggen. Hemoplague's down.
Yeah, Hemoplague is in there. He's not going to follow up on it, though. Froggen will lose a little bit of health. There's a chance here that the turret in the top lane might go down, if not with this wave, but with the next one going in. I mean, that is a bloodthirster that Tabs has right now at 13 minutes in. It's already been done for a good 4 minutes, I'd say, up to now, as well as Nukeduck here is going to be engaged upon by Snoopy, who then sees that Nasus is there and will slide away.
That is a fully stacked Bloodthirster, and with that, as well as the tower in the top lane, now Tabs is in the very strong position. This is basically what those double kills early on have provided him. That tower in the top lane, as well as that fully stacked Bloodthirster at this stage in the matchup. Snoopy's doing the best he can to defend this mid lane, but Nukeduck has still not recalled since all that damage he's taken from Froggen, because he's got a Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. He's got that spell vamp. He's just going to be life-stealing his way back up, and I don't think he should ever get erased by Froggen, because his Sanguine Pool should be saved to dodge the laser. And as long as he does that, he should practically be unkillable.
Yeah, I don't think there's another chance apart from if he mistimes that or what have you with that laser coming in. So should be fairly safe on that front. We'll see if the Froggen actually decides to get himself involved on other fronts here. They may need a bit of help in this bottom lane, because the tower, since we last talked about it, has gone down even further, but EG have brought their AD carry now. The support will join them in a second, but that might just be too late. Yeah, the tower's definitely going to go down. They're just going to bash this one away. 4 members of LemonDogs securing their second tower of the game. We noticed that Yellow Pete was charging up his piercing arrow. He's actually maxing his Q over his E. This is a patch where the damage was shuffled around from the hail of arrows to the piercing arrow, and it's actually good to notice that he is ranking his Q. That also could have been because he needed to farm from a distance at those early levels. So. And this timing is perfect as well from LemonDogs. Push that tower down, push the wave out completely, and there is the dragon coming back into play. We saw it soloed by Dexter when he got to level 6. There's the laser a little bit too early from Froggen, and that means it's just extra damage to make LemonDogs do it quicker.
Now, the thing that's fantastic about that play from LemonDogs is it just shows such a maturity in their understanding of the game. They grouped up a minute before the dragon spawned to push the tower down as a 4-man to get deep wards to take the dragon uncontested. That all started from a good call. Now Wicked's gonna fight NukeDuck.
Bottom lane is where it's really at, though. Actually, Yellow Peter's got caught out of position completely, and acing the whole bit of an overkill there will actually get them your kills. We are going to see that the tidal wave come in, and Tabs actually getting away from this one. Wicked now, maybe the one in all kinds of trouble. Zora Zero coming in. There's the wild growth put down by Crepo. Have they got the damage? Room Prison comes in. He's put in the air by the bubble and finished off by Tabs.
Snoopy was trying to get into position quickly enough, but he simply could not close the gap that he needed to close. NukeDuck, the Hemoplague is off cooldown, so I believe he threw that down onto Froggen, who's missing a lot of hit points. Zora Zero's caught Snoopy.
Yeah, they're going to keep going for this one, and in the end, backing away, this is a turret. And I just want to comment on that play at the bottom lane there. If we just look at the bush just on the right-hand side by the golems, there's a pink ward inside that. Now, there was, before that, an EG ward in there. They pink warded it, cleared it out, and then did a loop around and sat in that bush until Yellow Pete went one step too far in that bottom lane, made him pay for it, and that leaves us with a 4-0-0 Caitlyn with a fully stacked Bloodthirster and a Last Whisper.
Yeah, that's pretty much GG as far as damage is concerned. Snoopy is jumping onto Dexter. Dexter's caught out, lasers down.
And this is surely a Dexter that's not escaping, and Snoopy just slashes him down with that Dragon Strike to finish things off. And, well, that's a bonus for EG at this point, but they need more of that. They need 4 or 5 of those in a row here, and especially one onto Caitlyn would be a big, big bonus.
I would dare say that that kill would have been much better on Froggen than on Jarvan, getting that extra damage down. Look at that single transfusion. Just chunks Snoopy's HP. He doesn't have any additional, real statistics as far as defenses are concerned. He's just got that Elder Lizard, which is regen. That's it, regen and CDR. He's got no additional HP, no additional MR outside of his runes and masteries, and the amount of damage that Caitlyn and Vladimir are putting down, they're just going to shred through him completely.
Yeah, with that Abyssal Scepter now that Vladimir has got finished off as well, it's looking very good for NukeDuck and the rest of his team. Obviously, those Dragons helping out the 3 turrets to 0 that they are currently in the lead, and it's going to have to be a bit of a turnaround here from Evil Geniuses. But they are a team of the caliber that could definitely turn a deficit like this around. Wicked currently does have the Haunting Guys in there, along with that Chalice and the Crystalline Flask and Boots of Speed from a little bit earlier on. Yellow Pete finally getting up to his first big item, picking up that Blade of the Ruin King.
So take a look at this. That's a great laser tap. He's going down.
He's going very, very low here, but will he be able to survive? Ace in the hole comes out, the tidal wave as well, and Froggen, he's going to die. We will fail it, and picks that one up, and that was incredible stuff. There is the ultimate being used as well out of Nasus, and after all that, Crepo has gone very low, somehow surviving there right at the back as Yellow Pete comes through. He's going to get pulled by the bubble. He's going to die as Wicked comes across from the side. He got one. NukeDuck went around the side. Wicked is still trying to chase down the Wither, slowing into a crawl, and he won't be able to finish off. A crazy bit of action in the middle.
Coming in from behind.
It ends a 3 versus 1, and NukeDuck is coming in from behind. He's not going to have the damage to take down Wicked and Snoopy together, though, but crucially, those LemonDogs plays that were all so low survived the encounter.
And what was being highlighted there by our cameraman Panky was that NukeDuck snuck behind and actually killed Crepo behind enemy lines before joining the mid lane. Yeah. The fact that everybody went so low from LemonDogs was an testament, well, great play by Evil Geniuses to try and make it stick, but because they weren't grouped and because it was a pick, Froggen caught out Tabs and We Will Fail her, luckily, by approaching from the side. That wasn't a team fight. That wasn't a prepared thing. And because of it, EG couldn't close it out. They did the best they could, but being so far behind meant they couldn't actually make those last hits count.
And that's really what they've got to rely on here. They've got to have Froggen catching people out the entire time. They've got to pick up these opportunist kills. And for them, the most disappointing thing will probably be that Tabs went so very low after that. He's worth a lot of money right now at 4-0, but they couldn't shut him down. Ignite
was not used by Lux because Froggen had been caught by the Aqua Prison and the bubble. It was thrown up into the air, and I think it was actually out of range of Caitlyn, which is why that last 180 or 200 hit points was not actually taken down. Snoopy, that laser, that even failed as well. I mean, Snoopy's going to end up taking the blue buff because Froggen miscalculated his damage. He fired the laser too early, or, Snoopy stopped auto-attacking. And basically, it just shows you the state of Evil Geniuses in this game right now. They're not communicating as effectively as they need to be.
Yeah, it seems their heads are a little bit all over the shop at this point of things. see if they can manage to get the turnaround on that one, though. We've got 20 minutes down on the clock right now, and it's not that far away from a 10,000 gold lead for the LemonDogs at this point. And that is bad news for Evil Geniuses. The Oracle is on for We Will Failure as well, so he's going to be clearing out everything that Crepo can put down. So
the Dragon should be spawning very, very shortly, if my timers are correct, around 21 minutes, and you can see that by We Will Failure moving, placing some wards in and around the Dragon entry and exits, that they'll have vision of anyone coming in. Because they've got such a good gold advantage, if Evil Geniuses wanted to pick a fight, they pretty much welcome it and say, well, you know, we're in a much stronger position, we're happy to battle this one out. And I do think it'll be up very, very soon. The one thing that Evil Geniuses does have in their favor, which other wombo combo compositions don't have, is that Lux can make a pick happen from range. With a Malphite and an Orianna, you've got to dive in, which means you've really got to pick your opportunity well. Whereas with a Lux, you can make that pick from a much safer distance by catching someone else. So the onus is now on what I believe Frog into Mike, a good light binding, maybe Yellow Pete to get a good chain of corruption, and then follow that up with kills.
We've just seen that Dragon go down, and it just shows you how perfect LemonDogs are with the timing right now as well. The Spirit Fire literally down a split second before Dragon actually came into play. So on all fronts at this point, LemonDogs are not looking like the new team here in this game.
No, not at all. It's definitely not a team that's lost 2 games. Now, Wicked has managed to catch up We Will Failure a little bit out of position. He does have that Oracles, which makes him a very, very juicy target. But Wicked not willing to throw that unstoppable force. Doesn't want to use it willy-nilly and decides to back away safely. Pretty much wants to make it, you know, the best opportunity or make the best play with that ability.
Right now, NukeDuck, you just saw in there, is pushing that top lane down as we are going to see the chain of corruption coming out. Yellow Pete losing a lot of health, and look at that, almost taken down, and that is a lot of abilities used on towards the Malphite. Froggen is going to be going low as well. Wild Growth will save him. Will they get away with Wicked's life? He gets shielded up by Crepo, and honestly, Crepo there has kept them in this fight. Will they keep Snoopy alive as well? Somehow, yes. Look at the health bars on the left-hand side. That is ridiculous stuff. Crepo, man of the fight there. Without him, at least 2 of them would have been dead.
Yeah, definitely. Not a joke about that. The Wild Growth managing to save Lux. Then, of course, the shields coming out and the slows was fantastic. Being tongue-tied there. The entire time that was happening, NukeDuck is pushing this top lane. He's a very slow tower pusher, but is still able to get it down with the assistance of the creeps. The middle tower went down as well. So even though Evil Geniuses tried to make a fight happen, because they lost the fight, they lost 2 more towers and are now 10,000 gold behind.
10,000 gold. Not to be laughed at here from EG's standpoint. You see there, actually, Raj just pushing out the bottom. Froggen, half of his HP gone there in one blast from NukeDuck. And that is not good news for him whatsoever. He's got that needlessly large rod now added in onto the Morellonomicon. Doesn't roll off my tongue quite so well as it probably should still at this point of the game. We'll see what he can do with it. Like you said, the earlier kill that went to Snoopy probably would have been better suited to landing on Froggen because he's their opportunist in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And he's the one that needs the damage to pop people. And, you know, if he'd had a little bit more damage, say, for example, you know, for that catch onto Tabs, maybe he could have killed Tabs, you know. If he'd had that extra bit of ability power and had, you know, the bonus damage on his Q, E, and R respectively, it may have been added up to that additional 180. The one thing that I do see that's coming out of NukeDuck's build, he's got that needlessly large rod plus an amplifying tome. Now, I would have thought he wanted to go something like an Hourglass first to get that troll pool and survivability, but because they are so far ahead, I think he's going to go for a Deathfire Grass next. You know, max out his CDR and as well have that, you know, Deathfire Grass proc. Here comes the tidal wave, and LemonDogs want to play.
Yep, they're going to go over this one. That's a big dive in from Snoopy. The Hemo Plague, though, is down there. Is a laser coming out from the side as well, but NukeDuck is going to be able to take down one, and they're not done just yet. Here comes the push around the back. Zoro Zero is going to nail down Yellow Pete. Can they finish off anymore? Froggen is hit by the ace in the hole. He's going to try and dodge this one like a bit of a ninja, but honestly, this is a big team chasing him down. Dexter gets hit by the light binding, and Froggen is still running here for his life. The rest of LemonDogs coming around. We Will Failure is going to round the corner, spot himself for Froggen, and Zoro Zero is going to finish him off. Actually got the bounce from the Wolves.
Yeah, manages to get that one out. Now take a look at the play. And what set that up, and one of the big misplays, Wicked missed his unstoppable force. He tried to hit Vlad before the Sanguine Pool went down. He didn't manage to hit him, and that meant that that ability was wasted. He hit nobody up in the air. NukeDuck then flashed out of the laser. The fight continued, a lot of damage back and forth, and Nuketook was caught up by a light binding. That held him in place just long enough for the chain of corruption to catch him out and actually manage to pick up that kill. So, very good combo to at least pick up one kill, but overall, LemonDogs just in control of the fight and really determining the pace of it.
And that's without Nasus even using his ultimate in there. Didn't even need it at that point. LemonDogs increased their lead. 11,000 gold now and counting at the 25-minute mark of this matchup. Have a look down some of the items that were finished off here recently. A runic bulwark now added in for that Nasus, going to give them that extra bit of defense. I also realized that I've had a bit of a brain fart. The Seeker's Arm Guard that is built from Azonia's Hourglass is 2 cloths and an amplifying tome. Yeah, I forgot that there was 3 tiers to that build. So it does look like he's going to be going for the Hourglass first, which is the smart move for Nuketook. It would have allowed him to survive by, using that additional uninterruptible attack. And basically, we were saying how important it was for Vladimir to be in these team fights, and that was the exact reason. Evil Geniuses spent all their time focusing Vlad, which gave Tabs free reign to deal damage, Rise free reign to get his spellcasts out, and basically, if you focus Vlad, then everyone else kills you. If you focus everyone else, Vlad kills you. So it's a win-win situation for LemonDogs. They'll lose 1, but kill 3. Rise got the Archangel staff now, and that's actually going to become a Zerf's Embrace very, very shortly here. It was already over 700 stacks in that, so he's going to be at there very, very soon. On the other side, Negatron Cloak actually added in here for Caitlyn as well as that Zeal. So you can't even compare the AD carries at this point in the game. I mean, we couldn't really compare them after 2 minutes either. Yeah. So just generally, that's a losing battle, I think, for Evil Geniuses. Right now, they're stacked a little bit around the middle. There are a lot of pings going on here. It looks like EG might try and finally finish off this turret.
So they had a little bit of vision. They've jumped onto Dexter.
Yeah, but that's Dexter. That is Nasus. He's going to actually use his ultimate. The tidal wave comes in, and look at him. He's still got a quarter of his health remaining as Nuketook comes around the back. Where's the Hemo Plague going to come down here? They're spreading themselves out as much as they possibly can from this one. Ace in the hole, blocked by Crepo, but the Hemo Plague is on. He will shield himself up after that. Tabs did take down Wicked in the end, and that will be a 1-for-1.
So that is a 1-for-1 trade, but Evil Geniuses get the tower, so they get that global gold, which means they do come out in the stronger position. However, the fact that they've all got a recall base and heal means they may lose another tower or what looks like Baron. At the moment, Tabs and We Will Fail are rushing up there as quickly as possible, and we can see that Zoro Zero's Rise is in the area, but I don't think they're going to start it. They may just decide to play this one safe.
Oh, there is Nuketook actually doing himself the dragon on the top side. We Will Failure actually did get hit a couple of times by the Baron. Nothing serious for him there. Vladimir going to be finishing that one off. He must have, yeah, it's sat around about 1,100 gold right now, 1,000 gold for Rise as well, who now got that Negatron Cloak in with that completed Zer's Embrace. On the other side, Banshee's Veil was finished off by Caitlyn.
Now, I'm really happy to see that from Tabs. He comes from the AP mid-roll and he realizes when you get ahead, you've got a lot of damage. The best thing that you can actually do is survive long enough to keep dealing damage. So not only has he got all that additional MR to survive the burst that Lux is putting down, as well as Malphite, he's going to be able to block one of the spells. So they're going to need to...
Which could be an unstoppable force.
Correct. Or the light binding. The light binding that catches him blind when he's walking around a corner or checking, face checking a bush. That's going to prevent him being rooted. It's going to prevent him being instantly held in place to be popped. Right now, though, Evil Geniuses, they're holding on for dear life, and that 11,000 gold gap does get smaller the later the game goes, but I am being extremely optimistic here as the gap is what appears to be insurmountable right now.
So we talked about this one earlier with Meet Your Makers about finishing games. Interested to see how LemonDogs are going to go about this one, because honestly, they've got those inner turrets down on the top and bottom lane, but they've not really done a massive amount with it since we spent a lot of time here hanging around the middle lane.
So we'll touch on that in a second, as it does look like Evil Geniuses may actually get caught out. Wither is down, but it's on Wicked, and it's not the end of the world if he can't move, because he's going to throw himself at you with that unstoppable force. If LemonDogs group up, Evil Geniuses may throw caution to the wind and dive in. It definitely gets... This is the sense that we're getting from Evil Geniuses. They want to make a fight happen in their favor. The waves are pushing in their favor in, I believe, the bottom lane and the top lane. So they've got a little bit of time to play with. And it's just a matter of who goes first.
Grepo just putting a ward into Baron Pins. It's a setup, guys. Run away. Let's not stay there. They're still posturing around. There's the Demacian standard thrown down.
just for vision, just making sure that they're not doing Baron. So at the moment, Dexter and Zoro playing, you know, they're baiting at the moment. Nuke is just farming away in the mid lane, 270 CS. He continues to gain those levels. He is max level at the moment. And we do see that LemonDogs, they have actually started off Baron. And we do see Dexter's popped his ultimate very early. So if a fight does break out, the duration on that ultimate is not going to last very long. The Baron HP's on the left. Nuke's gone low.
He's gone very, very low. He's going to pull out. Actually, we'll have to flash there in the end. The rest of LemonDogs, though, are they going to go in? They're a little bit wedged in here. The Baron is still going down. It's down to half HP. In the end, they back away, but EG now have the advantage of saying, okay, if you leave, we can keep that one tagged up and keep the damage coming in. In the end, they'll just go to the middle. They're quite happy to have stopped that from happening.
I have to question the decision to throw all of those ultimates at a Vladimir. Throw all those ultimates at one guy. Even if you killed him, it's still going to be 5 versus 4 against a 5-0-4 Caitlyn. What do you do against them? How do you turn and face the rest of your opponent's team who are this well farmed and this well fed? So it ended up not paying off. They didn't kill anybody, but nobody died either, and Baron wasn't lost. So overall, it equated to nothing, but I'm not quite sure on the decision making.
Rabadon's death cap now is done by Frogom. We just saw him up getting that blue buff. Zoro farming his way through as well. That Spirit Visage now added into things, which makes him less burstable as well to the likes of Wicked and of course to Frogon as well.
And that increases all of the healing effects as well. So when he activates his ultimate and gets all of that spell vamp up, he's going to be regenerating more HP in a fight. So you've got a Vlad that is going to get massive spell vamp. You've got a Ryze that's got massive spell vamp. I would love to see a Woto being picked up for this team just because it's going to benefit everybody so incredibly well. Even Nasus's ultimate and his Spirit Fire's magic damage, he could benefit from some spell vamp as well. You were talking about how they finished games earlier. Ninjas in Pajamas managed to hold out against LemonDogs for a very, very, very long time, and they were a massive amount behind. And it comes down to the fact that in solo queue games, LemonDogs will have won the game by now. If they play a 5v5 ranked, or they play, an online team, generally at the LCS level, they'll be able to finish it very quickly. But they don't know how to get past those inner turrets to the inhib turrets with this very big advantage. And it's something that they'll want to be learning as they may try to make a gambit. Yellow Pete's going to get caught by this wither.
Oh, they're going to go for the play. There's a tidal wave coming over. Yellow Pete already at half HP. That's a good cataclysm from Snoopy. He's going to keep them locked up, but it won't matter for Yellow Pete. He goes down. Wicked is actually going to have to use his flash to get over by the wolves. He will fall to Zoro, and this may just be the opening that LemonDogs have been looking for. They've not really lost any health even. Never mind a man from that last fight. And EG now with only 3 men left alive. Crepo here going to get all the attacks coming out of Zoro. And there is the final inner turret taken down by LemonDogs. Looks like they may just go home. To be honest, I quite fancy their chances at Baron by now.
That was such a great play from the LemonDogs. Not only did the call come in from Dexter saying, look, I found Yellow Pete, I can wither him, I can go. He ghosted up immediately. We actually seen We Will Failure coming in from the side. You can see that little ward by the Wraith camp. He came in from there, put the tidal wave down in time to actually catch Yellow Pete even after he flashed. So it was a prediction ulti. It caught them, it locked up Evil Geniuses, and it put LemonDogs in a very powerful position in that team fight. So very well played by them, actually playing their comp the way EG want to play theirs. Finding an opportunity, catching them, and killing.
I am surprised, though, that they didn't just back off to Baron there. I mean, they still had that Hemo Plague up. They still had an ace in the hole available as well. And there were only 3 men left alive for EG, but don't want to risk anything. That's the name of the game right now for LemonDogs.
So my understanding or my thinking here from the LemonDogs, or at least from how we can see them playing, I don't know if they understand quite how far ahead they are. I think that the LemonDogs realize that they're very, very strong. Ooh, damage onto Nuke, turn him into a critter. So they realize they're very strong, but I don't think they realize that they could pretty much outright win any fight that they pick. And that's why they're playing very defensively. It was a similar situation against Ninjas in Pajamas. They were very strong. Wither might come down. Dexter going to avoid that light binding. And Wither's very, very strong. Dexter looking like he wants to go in. There may be another fight here.
Grepo almost been sniped down there in the gap between his teammates. We Will Failure takes some damage back. I mean, Frogon is hurting right now. There's no doubt about that one. The question is, can he hurt them enough? Can he knock them down? I mean, Tabs, we talked about it already. That Banshee's Veil already offers him so much protection from the likes of Frogon, as Baron is going to get started off here. Evil Genius has come into the top side. Wither actually going down here on towards Wicked. Look at Nuke. He's thinking about an attack maybe from the side or even from the back of the team. But he has been spotted by that ward. This could be very, very bad for Evil Geniuses. Wicked gets caught up here. There goes a tidal wave across them. Wicked did get unstoppable force off, but that won't matter too much as Nuke goes right into the middle of them there. He's going to heal himself up. They continue to push forward, and after that, he will decide to back away. It gives them a 5v4 at Baron. They're not super healthy, but with the lifesteal and that spell vamp that they've got in there, they could be able to get away.
We'll see if this laser is going to be effective because it is very powerful, but Froggen does still have his ignite, and there's a fair amount of HP on Yellow Pete. The key is for Dexter and Nuke to jump onto Yellow Pete to control this engagement. 16-4 up, the laser's down. Nuke got hurt, does manage to survive.
Yep, hurt but not taken down. The important factor in that one, and Evil Genius is now trying to buy themselves a bit of time in this middle lane without those creeps by pushing them straight up towards that inner turret. And considering how far behind they are, and with just 3 men here in this middle lane, they're not doing a bad job whatsoever of actually pushing out.
That's very, very good play from Evil Geniuses. They actually pinged the raid camp and were like, if they come, this is where they come from, watch, watch, watch. And you can actually hear the thinking of Froggen saying, well, if they come from that route, I'll light binding up, I can trap them, we can get this tower and back away safely, because there's no way for them to come from any other direction. So a calculated, informed risk, even if there was any aggression, they could lock it down. Very big minion wave is being demonstrated there. Might get that bottom lane tower, but it does look like Tabs is there to defend it. And yet another dragon goes the way of LemonDogs. Evil Geniuses are only contesting Baron, but nothing else right now.
Yeah, Prepo is trying to get rid of wards around Baron. He's trying to gain the advantage when it comes to that area of the map, getting rid of those traps from Caitlyn as well. They do have full vision of the Baron pit itself. LemonDogs got a couple of wards at the back side of things. And we see Yellow Pete picking up a pickaxe, which will be going with that longsword in towards the last whisper. So that's another nice addition to him. And the thing is, the longer this game goes on, the more the EG are going to be feeling comfortable about picking a fight. And, well, at the same token, the longer the game goes on, it only takes one mistake from LemonDogs to lose the game.
There's one problem with that, and that is the fact that the LemonDogs team will outscale the Evil Geniuses team. Rise, Nasus, and Vladimir are going to get more and more and more powerful. And eventually, I feel that Yellow Pete's Varus kit will outscale that of Caitlyn. But Caitlyn's range is just so incredibly strong that it almost balances out the root and the percentage HP damage.
Speaking of which.
And this is what one of the very, very big strengths. Evil Genius is going to be well aware of this threat. Snoopy is moving around, and he's very close to being room prisoned up by Zoro0. It does look like another fight's going to break out. Lemon does a split.
There we go, the late they go, and he gets the steal! Froggen has managed to steal it. No, it was Snoopy who actually smited it down very last second, but can they get away? They're the unstoppable force. They managed 2 more kills. Tabs has still got his Banshee Veil up here as he tries to run out the backside. Can they lock him down? He flashes over just as he gets turned and polymorphed in there, but what a turnaround from EG, and there is the danger of the Baron when you're so far ahead in a game.
My brain cannot comprehend how Evil Genius has just won that fight. They managed to pick up 2 kills, they managed to smite steal Baron and get away practically unscathed. That should not be possible when a team is that far ahead. LemonDogs being split up, not being grouped, not picking a fight, and because they weren't all together on one objective, doing one game plan, they got caught out. Evil Geniuses on the inhibitor turret, it's going down.
Let's see if they can push any further than this, so that inhibitor does go down. Can they take the inhib with them? There they go on towards Zoro0. Has to back away. Evil Geniuses have the bonus of that regen here from the Baron. They can back out and go back in. Wicked literally a rock there as he can't move with the Wither on him, but it's back down to a 9,000 gold lead only now. And Evil Geniuses, this is what we talked about. One mistake could bring them right back into the game.
So the Baron buff now is actually going to make up that gold difference. Even though LemonDogs are 10,000 gold ahead, the statistics that the Baron buff is going to give every single member of EG is basically going to nullify that. It's going to close it out. They've caught out Dexter. He's been knocked out.
Dexter is far too far forward here in the middle lane. Let's see if they can get the finisher. The Wild Growth comes down for the knockup. Dexter finished off.
They want the idiot. They want the inhib. They're going to be able to force this down. They know that Zoro is in the top lane. He should be able to get back and, at least try to defend. And there's so much pressure on Nukeduck. He needs to clean up. He needs a 5-man Hemo Plague, and he needs to get a triple kill if he wants to hold this inhibitor. And I feel like LemonDogs may not even contest this.
They've lost that big tanky Nasus here, and that inhibitor is going to go down. Would you believe it? The first inhibitor of this game goes to Evil Geniuses.
Unbelievable play from Evil Geniuses. They did not make a mistake. They had to, dance on this, I don't know, there was a sliver that they were trying to balance on, and they managed to do it. They held off, 3 Baron attempts. They prevented one of them basically with a laser, and they managed to steal it and get the first inhibitor. That is fantastic play out of them, and LemonDogs will be feeling the pressure of those 2 losses earlier in the day, and it's definitely going to be playing on their minds.
Yeah, and this is where we were really going to see how good LemonDogs are. We've seen them beat teams in more standard ways, but being ahead and then feeling that horrible feeling of a comeback happening to you, are they going to be able to deal with that pressure? Are they going to be able to push forward? This here is a very interesting way to do things.
This is how they actually picked on Bjergsen in the previous game, and I distinctly remember them being very, very patient. Right now, Evil Genius, this is such a juicy wave. Wicked, he's put a ward down. Very, very smart play. I think Wicked's sixth sense, his spidey senses were tingling and saying something is a bit fishy here, guys. He's put a ward down, and I just want to touch on some items that are very, very key. Just because of this last passage of play, Void Staff, Chirelia's Sunfire Cape, Lost Whisper, and another Sunfire Cape have been picked up by the side of Evil Geniuses. So that massive, massive item deficit is being balanced out as this game goes longer.
Incredible matchup here. 41 minutes in. Evil Geniuses are going for turret number 5, and they'll take it without a problem. They've still got a bit of time left on that Baron buff. It is only a bit of time, but that might just be enough to get this inner turret and level us up on turret kills at this point. I never really thought that I'd be saying that.
We've given up on this game.
Yeah, I pretty much had given up on this game, and I think a lot of people had as well. Evil Geniuses, though, definitely not giving up on that one. And they will continue forward.
If any team is going to fight on any stage, it's going to be Evil Geniuses at DreamHack. They've made it to 2 back-to-back grand finals, winter and summer last year. Now for the LCS, they're playing in from a 16,000 goal deficit. They pick up the first inhibitor. They pick up the first Baron of a Smite steal thanks to Snoopy, somebody who has been questioned so much in the spring split, and you cannot argue with his play in this game right now.
I don't know what it is about comebacks and Evil Geniuses here at DreamHack, but they certainly know how to do it in front of this crowd. They're still hanging around in that bottom lane. They're still pushing back. The top lane has been pushed by a big wave of minions here, and LemonDogs are going to have to do something about this one. They've lost that inner turret, went out tied on turrets. Are we going to see the fight kicking off?
Look at Nukeduck's position. He's off on the side. Snoopy's trying to run interference. There's the fight.
There we go. They're going to see the tidal wave coming. Wicked going low and finished off the laser. Comes the Gonzo. It's a double kill. Nukeduck's a little bit too far away from the rest of his team. Treadmo turns around. Wild Growth goes on to Snoopy. Nukeduck uses the Zonias. The Zoro Zero gets involved, but it's Yellow Pete that picks up that one. Zoro Zero trying to finish up Frog, and he will get the shutdown. And Evil Geniuses, are they going to back away? No, Yellow Pete stays and pays the price.
Look at the minions. Look at the minions in the top lane. The inhibitor was down. Those minions have a massive amount of HP on every single lane. The minions are doing the work for Evil Geniuses. They lost the team fight, or actually they tied it up 3-3, but they were happy to drag it out. They were happy to die and have those death timers because the map is in their favor. The minions are pushing the lanes. They got 2 turrets in that top lane, and the mid inhibitor is about to respawn. Evil Geniuses are not out of this game.
They are definitely not out of this game. And I said it earlier, they just need one little mistake, and we saw that at the Baron. That has completely turned things around. Evil Geniuses gonna come back into play. You see the death timers right now. Froggen at this point still has 20 seconds until he spawns in. We are at the point in the game where it comes down to one big fight, one mistake, one face check, which could ruin it or make the game for one of these teams.
I would love to know what the aggregate game time is for an Evil Geniuses match in comparison to every other team that is in the LCS, for example, because they sure do put on classics and put on shows. For the first time in 44 minutes, I believe the Dragon has been touched by the Evil Geniuses team. I don't think they've touched a single Dragon prior to this, so this is a testament to the presence they now have on the map. They are pushing out, they are fighting for objectives, and they're able to pick that one up. The gold still sits at 8,000, but with all the towers down, with the item, crescents being reached, are we at this point that Evil Geniuses can make that pick? Because without a pick, they can't win a team fight. Team fight power is still with LemonDogs. Do not forget that.
Taps, by the way, we should mention, is 7-0-7 right now. He had that brilliant start, getting a double kill with the first blood. Baron is now back on the map. This is going to be another big contention point for both of these teams, as we see Oracle's pretty much all over the place. Froggen's got one, Crepo's got one.
EG have the vision advantage here. They've cleared up the wards. They know that the fog of war is up and that LemonDogs will be needing to either put wards down or to check it. They have vision in the Baron pit, so if a ward goes down, they'll move in and they'll clear it. They're waiting for LemonDogs to react, and if EG are proactive and get a pick onto a priority target, Kate, Rise of Vlad, they can win a team fight. If they do not insta-give someone,
there it is! There's the insta-give. Froggen, with the help of the ward, catches We Will Fail her out. And we talk about ultimates being used on support players. Now it's not always good, but the laser is such a short cooldown.
LemonDogs thought they went for Baron. That's why they're trying to rush, but Evil Geniuses couldn't contest. They didn't want to jump in on that fight.
LemonDogs are in the bottom side of their jungle, and what are EG going to do now? Are they going to go straight up middle here?
They've got very, very quick clear times on those inhibs. This is going to be a race. If the recalls get in time, they're not going to get inhibited, so they might decide to just go for Baron. Still 30 seconds on the clock for We Will Fail as Nami. So this is going to be the second Baron of the game going to Evil Geniuses.
Here we go then. Baron started, already down to half HP. Froggen is waiting at the side, and he's actually going to get the binding on one. It hits Zoro as well, but he had that Banshee's Veil available. Crepo going to get withered up. There is the ultimate whip from Yellow Pete, and he's going to get destroyed straight away here. The rest of the team going down though. Tabs will actually bring one back, and Evil Geniuses have been destroyed in the Baron pit, and there is 4 kills. Froggen walks away. Ace in the hole going to come through. That's half of his health gone. Surely now, with a 60-second spawn timer, Evil Geniuses, who have done all the work to come back in this, are going to lose the game.
I do not think it's possible for Froggen to defend this. We'll see if he can prove us wrong. Right now, the fact that Tabs survived. Tabs was the focus. He got hit by the laser. He got hit by the unstoppable force. He got hit by the cataclysm. He got hit by everything.
No.
I cannot believe this. Evil Geniuses not only put on one hell of a show, the curse of the reconnect, the curse of the connection issues continues to plague them.
Froggen,
bro, why are you going to DDoS the stream?
Well, we have our admins here to work on this one.
So it does look like,
yeah,
I think
it's going to be GG's call.
I think they've called it.
It's been called. I mean,
it
was pretty obvious there. Froggen was being attacked by NukeDog in the bottom tri-bush there, and that is a victory for LemonDogs. I mean, a fantastic game here, 48 minutes.